Right.
Now, I have another question I want to come to. First of all, we had Jesus died by crucifixion. Nobody doubts that. He was buried. The death caused the disciples to despair. Obviously, if you lose your best friend and you thought he was the Messiah and you thought more about him, the fact is when he's murdered on a cross and you watch that, they all went into despair. Okay, and then we come to this fourth one. The tomb was found empty on the third day, okay? We'll come back to that one. I want to go to the fifth one. The disciples had experiences which they believed were literal appearances of the risen Jesus to them. Okay, now here's one of the most important proofs. And on the basis of what kind of data do we have that is within 24 months of the resurrection that shows us they had experiences of the risen Jesus?
Well, maybe the most important single argument. Here's the way critics would argue. They would start with the Apostle Paul.
Right.
He said he's the critic's darling, and he is. They're going to grant 7 books, and Paul returns to the resurrection time and time again. Actually, this is a whole other topic, but he quotes little tiny snippets that were in existence long before the book that he wrote. Today we call it a footnote.
Right.
And he would have these sources. Well, those sources, almost all the time, it's always about death and resurrection of Jesus. Jesus died for us. He was raised. Disciples saw him. The data are listed there. And the most important one is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 and 2, Paul talks about it. But in verses 3 through 7, there's one or more creeds. I say or more. Some people think 2 or 3 of them, Paul strung them together. But there's an early creed there. And in that list, it's the longest list of appearances, longer than the gospel list.
Yeah.
Longest list of
When we
appearances.
say creed,